She's getting passionate about something. Probably this asshole. She's like, I'm done with you.
Yeah.
Now you're reacting to the soloist IU's 2011 B-side song called Le Mans.
Okay, Le Mans is from IU's second studio album, Last Fantasy, which explores the transition from teenager to adult. The song, which means the lover in French, has both the lovelorn teenager who stays with her lover, although she doesn't know he doesn't feel the same, and an emerging adult who realizes this is not healthy.
And the song is written and composed by Jung Jae-hyun.
Wow.
Cool.
And then if you want the lyrics afterwards, let me know.
Okay,
Because
cool.
it's just audio.
3, 2, 1. Cool. Interesting.
I like this sort of like aleatoric intro.
There's a lot of jazz in like the way their cymbals are working and the way the pianos.
Textures are getting out of the cymbals.
Yeah.
And the soprano sax. It's blowing my mind.
Yeah, because like a lot of times, like if you ask a rhythm section to set up a song, I guess this would be where it starts. Like this is kind of what you get. If you get like an open, if you ask for an open rhythm section intro, you get textures, chords.
Usually it would just be like chords and then the drums would come in once the time starts. So this is great too.
Yeah.
You like jazz? There's some chromatic. And then tritone, obviously. Oh. Ah. Can't handle the sharp 5 major 7 chords. Was that supposed to lead to another note? Or was that just, did it just appear?
There's so much rubato in this. I mean, she's really taking all the expressive moments that she wants.
It's very well composed. Like, not in like a, oh, the writing is good, but just like, it's paced very well.
It's constantly, it constantly wants to go to E flat major, but it's still in like the E minor territory. It's like a struggle. Oh. She's getting passionate about something. Probably this asshole.
Yeah.
She's like, I'm done with you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Dump him.
What? 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 That's so cool.
The saxophone's cool.
This is legit.
This is, I'm enjoying, they're taking their time, sounds are blossoming, the instrumentation's awesome, they're actually making music.
What a concept.
And pop music, yeah. Ah,
Non-trite saxophone, I love it.
yeah.
Oof. 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 Oh. Every chord change.
Same with this
I
saxophonist.
really like the saxophone.
Yeah. Then the piano cascades like that too.
Yeah, there's nice interplay between
Responses.
the instruments.
Oh, that's good. The piano just like, it's the line I love when that shit happens.
I love that there's so much focus on the instruments.
You just get to enjoy every note.
Exactly, no, they're just taking their time.
Credit to the drummer for not having a backbeat. Major props.
Yeah.
You don't need a backbeat.
Doesn't need to be a power ballad.
I love how much reverb. It sounds like they're all in some fancy luxurious
Yeah, I
hall.
was gonna say, yeah.
But they're probably like in a recording studio. But imagine being that musician trying to like capture that feeling just in like a normal room. It's pretty awesome. And he did it. Them, they, she, y'all.
It sounds a little improvisatory.
She's a great belt. She has a great belt. Oh. That's like full belt. She sounds great.
Her voice slaps. That's cool.
Ooh, that piano run, yes.
Man, the way they imply the flatter keys and they just whip you straight back to the sharp keys. It's like the saxophone lives in another universe from IU's voice. Wow, high G.
They all come together for the solo.
Yes! Yes! Yes, yes! That was sick. She's taking a chance here.
Oh,
Like,
yeah.
That is nothing like the last generic song we heard, right? Which was fine, it wasn't bad. But this, really, okay, first of all, it's almost 6 minutes, seven seconds away from 6 minutes. And like a solid minute and a half of that was just like soprano saxophone and piano. Just like interweaving and soloing. I enjoyed that a lot. I love how they began. Like the sound just kind of started to blossom. It introduced the instruments gradually. The intensity built by the end, you really wanted to hear. Or you didn't know you wanted it, but you got it, and it was awesome.
I'd say like the interplay between the instruments when they were doing solo stuff, like with the soprano saxophone and the piano. It was like a conversation, and then it all came back together and it was more of a duet, and they're playing off each other's like motives, and then the voice comes in. So I think the middle of the song was really lovely. Like it gave a break from her singing.
Yeah.
And it provided that variety through different instrumentation.
Yeah, the saxophone totally.
Being equally as important as the voice. I thought that was cool.
So what I was getting from the beginning of this was one word, and it was like aimless. It was very like you were saying, like a lot of like intersparsed like textures and instruments, and even her vocals. There wasn't necessarily a groove per se. I got like high metaphoric vibes from this song because I think that's how like your life is when you're younger. It's kind of just like you might not have like a meaning or a purpose there. It's kind of just what comes along, and you're just kind of like fixated on the things in front of you at the moment, and you don't really have like that bigger picture. And I think a lot of the times that's why relationships like that can happen, because you don't necessarily have the experience to say, oh, this isn't healthy, this isn't going to work out over the long term. It's kind of just like, this is what's nice in the moment. Why not? Like, this is like love, why I should just stay, I thought it was very reminiscent of that. And then I was thinking that, and I was like, well, that means that if there's like an adult section in the second half of the song, that things are gonna have to change, and they did, because there was a groove nearing the end. The second time she like sings that belty like bit, I feel like the first belty section was like the young her getting frustrated, but then the second one was like, oh, I'm an adult, now I'm frustrated, but like I see now, like I have the wherewithal to like see why this is not cool. I think the saxophone is the man. I think the saxophone is representative of like the dude, because in the beginning it was just like intersparsed like bits, and then there was like there was almost this like really weird like solo sax section where it almost sounded like he was trying to like explain himself or something, like give her excuses. And then nearing the end, she's like belting this last time, but the sax is in the background like woo, like doing all these crazy things, like no, like hey, like I'm right here, like no, like don't be thinking this, babe, and then like she ends, and then the saxophone keeps going at the end, sort of just like trails off at the end, like oh shit. she knows, or like I've lost her, or, you know, something like that. Like I was like convinced that the saxophone like represented the dude.
Like I appreciate the ideas, and like I love her voice, and I actually really like the saxophone solo, but just somehow it was just like it started off by losing me, and then I didn't get unlost as it went on. I was just like,
yeah,
you know, like I was like, oh, it's gonna be long, and then it was like long.
Yeah.
I know I didn't really enjoy this.
Whoa.
Yeah, no, because I thought that the way she climbs, when she has her very climactic moment, there just wasn't enough support from the instruments. You know, I think it's like if you listen to any like moments where you're just belting out, either the texture thins more and it's just focused on you, but then it was weird because I heard more of the saxophone. It was just I thought that was just weird. I thought it was really awkward because you have the saxophone dominate for like the middle section. I kind of wanted to listen to more to IU. I think maybe it's just because I went with that frame of mind. It's like, oh, I'm gonna listen to an IU song, but then I got a saxophone piece. I was like, okay.
I think it's a very risky song. I do think it's very bold, and I think that's a very valid opinion, and I can see myself having that opinion too. But I did really enjoy this. I thought, again, it's like almost barren, but it's just sparse enough to still paint a very rich picture, and I think all the instruments were mixed perfectly. I think IU's vocal delivery from beginning to end is great, and the way she goes for some of the notes. Sometimes when she hits a high note, like the 2 or 3 times she does, you can tell that there's a little lack of the classical training, the support, the foundation, but I just admire the fact that she goes for it, honestly. Yeah, she's always expanding. She's always getting sort of on the edge of her comfort zone, and it's just something I appreciate so much.
Wow, that almost felt like through composed. Like, I don't think it was. I think there was like some kind of material that came back, but just like because there was always like new material happening, whether that be like texture or soprano sax solo or like, and the tempo is just slow, so I don't think it like automatically grabs you when you hear something familiar, because it's like very rubato and like they just vary the texture a lot.
I think I would agree. Like I don't think that there was like a formal structure, although there were formal phrases in there that were repeated.
Yeah.
So I think it's like yeah, there was just an extent to which it was kind of through composed, but not because it had like the typical landmarks that we would recognize. It was sonata form. There was an A section, there was a development, and there was A prime. Although they did it backwards, because it was like the coda was at the beginning with the intro, and then there was the A section.
Sonata form can have introductions.
Okay, you're right. Yeah, there was just no coda at the back.
And
yeah.
Sonata form doesn't have to have a coda.
Although it was like a little one. It was like a 4-bar one, but it was just like riffing. It's not that important.
If it's like 4 bars, like a cadence at the end, that doesn't really count as a coda.
Yeah.
I mean, composers did that all the time.
True. Alright, it was sonata form. So.
Hello everyone, I'm omg-horns channel creator, and I'd like to thank you for watching this video. I really hope you enjoyed or learned something from it. If you'd like to support us or help ReacttotheK grow, you can do so by visiting our Patreon and help us out by pledging any amount you can. Till next time.